What if the secret to better health isn't about finding more time for the gym? What if it's about rethinking the time you already have? Today, we're diving into a quiet revolution in wellness that could completely change how you see your workday.
So let me just ask you this straight up. How many hours are you going to spend sitting today? 8? 10? Maybe even more. That number, whatever it is for you, is right at the heart of this huge shift in how we're starting to approach our health.
And look, here's the reality check. Science is pretty clear that all this sitting is a serious health risk. But the good news, this problem is actually driving some really fascinating and surprisingly simple new solutions. And that's exactly what we're going to get into.
Okay, so first, let's just get a really clear picture of the challenge we're all up against. We'll call it the sedentary crisis. This is the baseline, right? The why behind this whole conversation.
And this is not a small issue. According to the World Health Organization, it is a global phenomenon, a pretty staggering 28% of adults, and get this, 80% of adolescents around the world are just not getting enough physical activity. It's like we've basically engineered movement right out of our day-to-day life.
And this goes way beyond just feeling a little stiff at the end of the day. Research clearly links spending most of our time in a chair to a much higher risk of serious chronic diseases, things like type 2 diabetes and cardiovascular issues. It's kind of like our desks have become this new frontline for public health.
So, what's being done about this crisis? Well, the corporate world in particular has mobilized in a really big way. And when I say big, I mean billions and billions of dollars are being poured into finding solutions.
Just to put a number on it, the market for employee wellness apps is already worth $5.1 billion just this year. These are the tools that companies are rolling out to help their teams manage everything from fitness to mental health.
But that is just the beginning. That number is projected to more than double to $13.4 billion within a decade. So you can see, this isn't just a passing trend, it's a fundamental shift in how businesses are thinking about the health of their people.
This chart really shows that incredible growth curve. Companies are now realizing that employee well-being is directly tied to productivity, to retention, and to their bottom line. So they're turning to tech to tackle this sedentary crisis at scale. Now, that corporate response is super interesting, but what about us as individuals? What can we do, like right now, without needing a big corporate budget? Well, this brings us to a powerfully simple idea: movement snacking.
And it's pretty much exactly what it sounds like. Instead of one big meal of exercise, you have these small, bite-sized snacks of movement all throughout your day. Now, the goal isn't to replace your big workout, but to constantly interrupt the act of sitting. It's a total mindset shift, from trying to find an hour for the gym to just using the minutes you already have.
So what does this actually look like in real life? Oh, it's so simple. It's doing a few squats while you're waiting for your coffee, or maybe rolling your shoulders back on a long conference call. It could even be a quick 5-minute dance break to your favorite song between tasks. See? These aren't workouts. They're just little moments of movement woven right into the fabric of your day.
Okay, I know what you might be thinking. Does doing a few squats here and there really actually make a difference? It almost sounds too simple to be effective, right? Well, let's look at the science, because the results are genuinely surprising. So a study from Columbia University found something pretty remarkable. Taking just a 5-minute walk every half an hour lowered the blood sugar spike after a meal by a massive 58%. In fact, for managing your glucose levels throughout the entire day, these frequent snacks were actually more effective than a single 1-hour workout. Incredible. And this has real-world consequences you can actually measure. A huge study of Danish workers found that those who regularly took these short micro-exercise breaks at work had a 14% lower risk of needing long-term sick leave. I mean, that's a huge win for both the employee and the employer.
The benefits for our heart are just as stunning. Research shows that if you add up just 15 to 20 minutes of vigorous activity a week, done in these tiny bursts of 1 or 2 minutes, it's linked to a 40% lower risk of dying from cardiovascular disease. It really proves that a little bit of movement goes a very, very long way.
So, to kind of sum up all the science, it's captured perfectly by this quote from the experts who study it. A little exercise, done often, is a powerful, evidence-backed approach. The secret, it turns out, isn't really about intensity or duration, it's about frequency and consistency.
Okay, so how do we put all of this together? We've seen the problem, we've seen the big tech response, and we've seen the personal solution.
Now let's combine them into a new vision for our own daily wellness.
Your new toolkit for wellness looks something like this. You can totally leverage the very technology in that multi-billion-dollar market, apps and wearables, to give you reminders. And you can combine it with simple behavioral tricks, like habit stacking, where you just attach a new movement to something you already do, or even designing your workspace to encourage motion. And you can start, I mean this literally right now. Pick a daily trigger, like brewing your coffee, and link it to one tiny movement. Set a recurring timer on your phone for a 2-minute break this afternoon. Or even easier, just take a moment right now to roll your shoulders back. It really is that simple to begin.
So I'll leave you with this. We're so often told that getting healthy requires these big, dramatic efforts, grueling workouts, major life changes. But what if that's not the whole story? What if your next big health win isn't a workout at all, but simply the decision to stand up,